Good morning, Hawks. Good morning, Kumu. It is Wednesday, January 26th. It is G Day, G as in giraffe, G as in gigantic, G as in great. Periods 1, 2, and 3 today. Welcome back to school, and I hope you're in school and healthy. I know many of you are still quarantining at home. While you're quarantining, if you are feeling well, you should be doing your work on Google Classroom. You should be reading, you should be exploring, you should be learning still, because learning can still happen at home as we learned in the past year and a half together. All right, I have some big announcements. This Sunday will be one of our first community service days. So it's voluntary. You are invited to come on down. One of our first community service days that we've had this school year. I believe strongly in community service. When I was in high school, I remember that before I graduated, I had to do at least 100 hours of community service, which is very, very little when you think about 4 years of high school. But I believe strongly in service, and so did Queen Liliuokalani, who was one of our queens, right? And you know, the street that we are on is called Onipaa, and Onipaa means determined and steadfast. And that was kind of the vibe that she vibed on, the Onipaa motto, that she was determined that people of Hawaii, especially the children of Hawaii, learned and gave back to community. And that's exactly what she did. So we're going to malama kaya ulu in a really explicit way on Sunday. So you're invited. Sunday, Old Airport. Come on down. Bring your water bottle, lather on some sunscreen, which is what I'm going to do. And we're going to meet at the last pavilion on the beach of Old Airport at 12 o'clock until about 1:30. We're going to have trash bags, gloves, and wear your Hawk t-shirt, your Black Hawk t-shirt. And if you don't have one, we'll have some Hawk t-shirts available. And we're just going to walk the beach, pick up trash, and talk story with each other and have some fun. And we might have some really yummy snacks for us to eat afterwards. So come on down. We're going to Malama Kaya Ulu this Sunday from 12 noon to 1:30 p.m., about 90 minutes. So like I said, brings a water bottle because it's going to be hot, lather on some sunscreen, wear your Hawk t-shirt, come on down if you are available. And we're planning to do this at least 1 to 2 times a month on the weekend or after school to give back to our community in an explicit way. Speaking of community, student-led conferences are going to be coming up after spring break. And I know you're like, Mrs. Flavor, it's not even until like the ending of March, student-led conferences. I know. But now is the time to really be thinking about student-led conferences, because at our school, it's a really big deal. What is a student-led conference? So if you don't know what it is because you didn't participate in the first one we had this year in October, a student-led conference is this. You, Haumana, the student, are going to be talking about yourself, talking about your learning with your parent or guardian and your advisory teacher in a 30-minute block that's going to be virtual on either March 23rd or March 24th. So your advisory teacher is going to book a time with you and your family. And you're going to be doing all or most of the talking. Yes? What are you going to talk about? You're learning. You're going to reflect on, I know at the beginning of the year in some of your classes, you set some learning goals. So you're going to be talking about like, how did that plan work out? Did you reach your goal? Did you not reach it yet? How's it going? And you're going to talk about the different learning you have had in your classes. What classes you know you really like and you're doing really well in? What are the classes that you're still struggling in, and what are you learning about it? I know I was in classrooms this weekend, and like some shout outs I want to give. Shout out to when I was in Miss Wong's class, listening to our Haumana talk about how to solve problems. I was listening to Mehana Guy, who led her small group. Batty Menke, great job, Batty, as well, explaining the problem using your voice to explain that multiplication problem that you guys were doing together. It looked like a pre-algebra problem to me. And I want to hear, when I go into classrooms, I want to hear you guys talk about the work that you're doing, talking to each other, because I think, and I know that when you're teaching each other, peer-to-peer, teaching each other, talking about the content you're learning in class, learning just like grows immensely. So great job, Mehana and Batty Menke. I'm very proud of you guys for Mrs. Blaber was sitting in your group, and I was kind of like putting a lot of pressure on you guys, wanting to make sure you guys were actually being explicit and teaching each other. So great job. I was also in Mr. Nahuina's class, and Theron and Jaden, I was listening to your podcast about starting school later. And you guys are really articulate, very articulate, Theron and Jaden. You guys could be radio broadcasters. But those are the kinds of things that you would want to share in your student-led conference, right? The work that you're doing or have been doing in class, what did you learn from it? And how does it positively affect our greater community or our school community? So Theron and Jaden, that work that you did asking for school to start at a later time because it's better for teenage brains, bravo. I really appreciated that. So more work like that. Today I'm meeting with Mr. Harlan in the morning. I know he has students write research papers. Yes, we should all be writing some kind of research paper. That's great. So maybe there's a research paper you've written in class this year and you want to specifically talk about it and what you learned about. Writing research papers are really hard. And a lot of times we don't get to it, but I'm really proud of the teachers and the students who are getting to write them because it's a really huge cognitive load and takes lots of time. Great job. Also, a lot of you have gone on field trips. If you've been in Kumu Dumagan's classroom, you've taken field trips into the Kaia'ulu, learning about the Pa'akai on the coast of Ka'upulehu. So talk about that. Why is it important? Why are you taking trips out into the Kona community? And what is your kuleana now that you've known a little bit more about Pa'akai and the coast? And why is reading important to making sure you can continue to malama what is important to our Kaia'ulu? Those are the kinds of things you talk about in student-led conferences. Student-led conferences are really, really important. So what I would rather you not do is wait till March 22nd to start wondering what you're going to be doing in your student-led conference, because you should be working on it right now. Think about when you go to each of your classrooms and you think about the learning that you are doing in each classroom, Haumana. What is it you want to highlight to your advisory teacher, to yourself, and to your parents in those 30 minutes? Think about it. Yeah, maybe you just want to focus on one class and talk about why you really like it and what you really hope to do by May and what your goals are for when you head into high school. Totally fine. But so I know I took a long time on that topic because it's really important. We are taking 2 days off of school. You're going to be learning asynchronously because this showcasing what you are learning here at our school is very important. Your voice is very important. So when me and the vice principals come into your classrooms this week and as we come in through the end of May, we are going to be asking you pointed questions about what you're learning in the classroom to help you prepare metacognitively for the student-led conference, but also to prepare you for when you're always going to be giving a big speech in class, I hope, or when you go home and at dinner time, parents ask you, or in the morning when they ask you, what did you learn today in school? You'll be ready to answer that question. All right. Next week, students who are in Mr. Davis's, Mr. Biesinger's, and Miss Shorey's class, you are going to be taking a test called the WIDA test. And so I know that the Kumu Davis, Kumu Biesinger, Kumu Shorey have already been talking a lot about that test. And me and Mr. Williams yesterday were kind of planning out how we will be making sure that you guys do some Hanapono action, right? When you are taking those different tests in that classroom. And so we're excited about next week for all of you, all the Haumana in that class. I know you will do your best. And what else is on the slate for this week? All right, I think that's all. Report cards went home, yes. Next week, Friday, is our Hawk Pa'ina, where we're going to celebrate students who made honor roll in semester 1 and students who've made really huge improvement in iReady with a pizza party. So Mr. Barron, Miss Yo are planning that really fun celebration at lunchtime on Friday, February 4th. Okay, 10 minutes. 10 minutes are up. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you in class. Aloha.